Welcome back everybody to WCS Austin EU Challenger, where we just had one of the longest and most epic best of fives that I have seen in Legacy of the Void. And we're getting ready for another big one. Two of Europe's biggest stars will go at it here in the semifinals of the upper bracket. It's time for Nerchio versus ShoWTimE.
If you ask me what my dream matchup is from this bracket, I probably would have answered these two taking on one another. Let's jump right into it. We're on Belcher Vestige. And starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map, he's not making any drones and opening with a quick spawning pool. It is Nerchio.
He's like, I had to wait so long to make a couple links.
Let me catch you up on the schedule here. Let's catch up quickly.
And over here on the left top side, we're looking at the man who's been on fire for over a year now. Europe's best Protoss, it's ShoWTimE.
Truly two of the two biggest players that we have over in Europe.
Gonna go with the gateway on the low ground, and he is going to see that Nerchio has not gone for a hatch first. It's like, well, there's still a chance. This drone is to fake it out, just to buy a little bit of extra time. But ShoWTimE wasn't born last night. He knows that this could potentially be not right. And he's going to see some links real soon. Nerchio tried to trick him. It's like,
oh, that's so funny that he hit there too. But ShoWTimE's gonna check the main. And if he fully realizes, which I'm sure he will, what's happening, yeah, he's gonna see that spawning pole links on the way. From there, he can do whatever he wants. If he wants to do a full wall off at his natural, get a forge, cybercore. Maybe just even one more gate and a pylon. But you might have to get, I think you have to get a complete wall off, but maybe not even.
I'm curious to see how he deals with this as well. He didn't wipe in the Nexus, that's for sure.
And he's not mining 3 on the gas, so he's not going to actually have the gas to start Mothership Core immediately necessarily.
Well, he's going to pull probes now because he knows that he needs to make sure that this Zealot stays alive. Zealot spawns on the right side.
If he walls off, that one Zealot in the wall will buy himself a lot of time.
Yeah, but then he could lose the Cybercore, no?
Yeah, but then you wait until the second one is there and then you fight.
Well, gets one link there. Before the party starts, there are no additional links running across the map, so this is going to be it for now. Nerchio needs to get a little bit of work done, because so far this is definitely not good enough for a 12 pool. He knows it as well. He's going to send a few more links into the natural, probably work on either that probe or the pylon, but there's a second Zealot.
ShoWTimE does not care about these Zerglings. He hasn't lost anything, and he's about to start a Nexus. Nerchio is going to look to try and delay that a little bit. And his probe is still across the map, denying a third base from going down.
Yeah, there's still no extracting, correct? No gas for Nerchio. He really wants to get this probe, and the probe eventually will fall. But you shouldn't forget, there's now 3 units out. So the moment that these links are done, ShoWTimE can obviously run across the map, and he's going to force out quite a few links. And there is no speed. ShoWTimE not losing a single probe against the 12 pool. Making this look easy, Todd. It's like this.
I mean, what's easy for him? I know how many probes I would have lost. I would have fell apart there. I wouldn't even be macroing. I'd be chasing these links all over the place.
Wow, perfect defense by our Protoss.
That was sick. And he starts a Twilight as well. At the exact time he kills the last Zergling, there's going to be no scout available for Nerchio to spot that Twilight Council, which most likely... Well, actually, no. It could be either Glaives or a Dark Templar with a Robo.
I would like to see Glaives here because...
Really?
Yeah, because it's a low eco game from your opponent.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we do see the Robo being walked in. So I think that Glaives will always pay for itself because you're going to force out so many units from a super low eco Zerg. And what are they going to do? Even if they hold perfectly, they will still be behind economically. But I guess the same can be said for the Archon drop.
How do you like this wall, by the way, by ShoWTimE?
I mean, it's good against pretty much everything, right? Nerchio is going to need a split second. There's nothing wrong with it.
He's on... yeah, Walker counts about it. Even right now in Nerchio, actually...
Starts a layer.
I'm a little bit surprised. On the natural as well. So it might get spotted by ShoWTimE. Very good chance he's going to be spotted. No third base in sights for Nerchio.
Here we have that Adapt that could go into the main base.
You think he might be planning on all-in already, or...?
Yeah, but what would it be? Maybe
Nidus.
Yeah, Nidus Queen.
Anytime I see a lair, I'm like, okay, I know.
Yeah, Nidus Queen is actually not that bad, especially if it's only 2 gateways.
Or if he's convinced he's going to be DTs and there's going to be 4 warped in. Remember, I guess things have changed, right? But Wings of Liberty, whenever you will play DTs, it was a much bigger commitment. And then Zergs will just get mass roach with speed and overseers, and then just go for the attack and kill you.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of, like I said, a lot of things have changed since then. Pylons shoot people, so.
It seems like Nerchio is gonna just go up to 3 bases. Maybe he wants the fast layer to get overseers because he doesn't want to get too many spores now.
And drop creep on the 3rd base of ShoWTimE.
Yeah, that's nice.
Sickest.
That's a way to even things up. It's 37 drones against 35, so definitely not a bad job by Nerchio recovering after his 12 pull. That really didn't do much at all.
That creep drop is actually huge, especially like the later ShoWTimE sees it, the worse it's gonna be. Like usually you'd like to go for a 3rd base as quick as you can. And because he's on 2 gates too, like for sure, ShoWTimE wants to go into that 3rd base earlier than, or sooner than later.
Yep, and don't forget that he's probably not going to have any anti-air either, right? Because you're wiping in Dark Templars on the other side of the map, so you're not going to have a Stalker here to push away this Overlord.
That's the point I was going to get at, but then I got lost. So thank you for saying that one, Roddy.
It's okay, it's been a long...
You complete me!
It's been a long best of 5, so I know where that's. Sometimes you're like, I have a great idea, and then you start talking, you're like, I have no idea what I was going to say, I'm just going to make some sounds
What
over
was
here.
I trying to get at? Oh, he finally got the bad news on the 3rd base here, did ShoWTimE. And I think he might have been thinking about warping in 2 more DTs across the map to get 2 Archons. And now that's going to force at least 1 Stalker back at home to try and clean that up. Spire in typical Nerchio fashion here, going down now.
Yeah, I mean, if ShoWTimE would decide to fire up Charge, that could actually get a little ugly for him.
Yeah, look, 1 single DT now.
Ooh, that Archon's going to take a lot of damage.
He's going to pick it up on time.
Man, this Overlord did definitely some very serious work. 6 minutes in and Protoss still on 2 bases. Of course, had to worry about an Overseer, excuse me, Observer in the main base. Scouts nothing other than gas. Dark Templar sees the Spire, so that's nice. There's no detection in the main top. There's a chance that this Dark Templar can do a little bit of work. The Overseer is coming though. Not before this.
Even just a couple drones is enough here to say
4?
this was worth.
5?
Yeah, that's sick. And behind this, having spotted the Spire, I think one of the best things you can do is to just go for an attack. He already has a Prism out on the map. Make a couple Archons, reinforce with whatever you want. You just need to have a very few Stalkers to deal with the Mutas, really. Even though he doesn't have sentries here for Guardian Shield.
I don't know though. There's gonna be like 7, 8.
Yeah, against Archons. So you can.
Wow, he gets charged? What? Is this one of these moments where he didn't see the Spire?
Yeah, he might not have seen it.
Yeah, because charge is the last thing that I would get right now.
He saw something start, but if you look at it, like, I mean, could it have been a Spore in this location? Oh, he sees it now with the Observer.
What is he going to do with the Twilight Council? That's my big question. He's going to warp in a cannon in his main. This is late, though. I actually think ShoWTimE is in a little bit of trouble, Todd. He is going to run across the map, like you said. There's 2 Immortals, and there is that Warp Prison with 2 Archons.
Look at that Roach, by the way, middle of the map. He was chasing 2 Immortals, and they didn't shoot. That was the sickest.
All right.
Mutas finally in position to hit on that 2nd base of ShoWTimE. He's got the Mothership Core ready to overcharge there. There's going to be a lot of overcharges used very quickly, and he's losing a ton of probes. In the meantime, Nerchio engaging to his army of ShoWTimE. Luckily, he's paying attention.
I don't think this is going to go that well for ShoWTimE. No, ShoWTimE is down 20 workers. And yeah, this army is powerful, but if you just get enough ground units out and you swarm it with Queens and Lynx as well. Lynx speed has finally finished up, by the way. It's very late. Couple of Mutas denying any sort of probes in this 3rd base. I don't like how this is looking at all for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, with 8 probes already dying, he's going to need a couple more cannons to make sure he's safe. The Muta is still flying around, going to be headed for the main there.
Mutas is so good against this build in general. We saw Bly have a lot of success with it against Mana.
Oh, there is no Mothership with his army of ShoWTimE there, so he cannot even recall. He might get fully surrounded here in a second and engaged into. And be forced to take a fight. He doesn't want to take. Nerchio looking to try and clean up the army on the map. I guess he could pick up the 2 Immortals and evacuate with them and try to fight before that as much as he can. But great cleanup here by Nerchio. Oh, it's going to recall.
Recall. Well,
the in-control recall.
Gets 1 extra unit there. I mean, he has charge now, but he just doesn't have really any money to wipe in the amount of Zealots that you would normally like. 40 army supply against
These
90.
Ravagers are pretty naked, though. They're by themselves.
Yeah, but the units are coming, I think, soon for Nerchio. If ShoWTimE saves this game, that would actually be sick. It's almost doubling the army supply, Todd. I mean, Immortals and Archons are great. There's only 1 overcharge available.
I'm looking at it. Let's see the Immortal change that here. 1 more volley here, and this gateway would go down. You don't want to be starting to lose these important gateways at this stage in the game. Now your Cybercore. So ShoWTimE will set up on the high ground. Try to kite a little bit here. If you can trigger this corrosive bile and then pull back behind to safety.
Oh, he really needs to put an overcharge. The Immortal start taking a lot of damage. Good micro on the Immortal, picking them up. They will survive, but there's just almost nothing left for our German Protoss. The Cybercore should fall as well. That one pylon that has Photon Overcharge is gonna fall. And I think that's all for game number 1 here, as there are just a few too many Ravagers. Really sick game by Nerchio, despite the fact that he really didn't do anything with his 12 pool. He picks up game number 1.
That was... I'm surprised at this transition. At first I was looking at it, I was like, it should be bad for him. But then he dropped Crepe, he bought himself a lot of time. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Nerchio was in a fantastic position from there. But that Spire, a great idea. And I guess he got fortunate that ShoWTimE didn't realize he had scouted it and that it was a Spire.
And also, good job by Nerchio realizing that ShoWTimE will most likely, like you said, run across the map and try to kill him. So he made damn sure that he had enough Roaches, Ravagers, and a couple of Lings as well. Because the first 7 mutas or 6 mutas, whatever it was, those were all the mutas he made.
I guess 6 years of using Spire and Mutalisks finally taught him to make sure he gets enough on the ground that doesn't die. Because Nerchio and Bly, that once upon a time used to be teammates for the longest time. They've been going for these Spire builds. And let's just say they don't always choose to try and fight the opponent's army. It's more often than not the base trade that they would go for. So they are very familiar with all these situations.
The other semi-final of the upper bracket here in WCS EU Challenger is, of course, between Snoot and Serral. Now, what normally was supposed to be the plan is that we do this one and then we do that one. But this has been running for quite some time already. We're closing in on midnight, as you guys can see in the right bottom of the screen. So we're going to play these games simultaneously. The ZVZ will be happening. If you have any score updates, we'll obviously let you guys know. But for now, all our eyes are going to be on Nerchio versus ShoWTimE. Nerchio has been quite vocal lately about his dislike of the matchup, but he looked good in game number 1. Meanwhile, Todd got invited and I didn't. I'm gonna try to join our view. Todd is in game. He's gonna hop on in. Ready?
Abyssal Reef on next map.
Beautiful map.
Shocker.
Yeah,
I see it come out.
Second map, Abyssal, has to happen. It's a lot of,
Sharking around.
I feel like seen a lot of epic games already on Abyssal, and it's just getting better.
Is it your favorite map from the...
I think it is to play. Well, to play against Terran, I still find it kind of hard to sometimes see medevacs incoming, and you know, on a bad day that can definitely frustrate me. It's like I had an observer, I just don't see it because the tile set is so different. But when it comes to observing games on Abyssal, I truly love it. And I think TLO put it best in one of his tweets like a week or two ago.
He often does, yeah. What did he say?
He said, you can see that Abyssal is a great map because there is not a set-in-stone expand pattern, you know? There's so many different ways. Third base, sometimes it's the obvious one, but you can also see it taken on the low ground.
That sounds way longer than 140 characters, but continue.
Yeah, it's... Anyway, his point was that you see games shape up very differently and people expand in different ways, and I think he made a very valid point.
So a tweet longer by TLO. All right, let's jump into game. We've got another cheeky build here from Polizerg. Starting in the top left-hand side is Nerchio.
12 pull once again. Apparently looked at that previous game and said, well, I did 0 damage and I still won. Why not try it again? Don't fix it unless it's broken. Over here in the right bottom side, the man who had beautiful defense early on, unfortunately got a little lost in the mid game. It is ShoWTimE.
Playing for Team Arma team. Old school team.
You
Warcraft 3's best, who were once an Arma team.
Fun fact, guys, when I got to know Todd in 2003,
I was an Arma team.
2004, the very first time I ever played against you, round 2 of a Go 4 Warcraft 3 on not Echo, no, the Two Rivers. The Two Rivers.
Really, that terrible map.
Yes, Arma team against Forza Rotterdam. I've told this story on my stream many times. Todd beat me handedly. I asked him, it's like, hey man, I was a young boy. I was like, do you have any tips for me? And Todd said, what do you think? You think there are some magic words that will make you better at this game? It's good to see you have not changed one bit, Todd.
And then you became half decent at the game, so I guess my advice worked. Oh! He gets a probe! How did that happen? ShoWTimE! He's already flustered. I'm surprised that he's actually choosing to, like, imagine if he planned down one more pylon and then used the Zealot to buy himself a lot of time. I guess the defense was there last game, though.
The rush distance is a little shorter, though, on Abyssal, so a few seconds are a little bit scarier, but he moves the probe so smart. Make sure that the Zealot won't get surrounded. My Zealot always gets surrounded, and then I take too much damage. Gotta be careful here.
Zealot.
Yeah, I think Nerchio should probably try to go for it, but ShoWTimE's too good, man.
ShoWTimE, Mothership Core. Oh, he's overmining from the gas. ShoWTimE is messing up here in this game.
Wow, 5 out of 3, indeed.
And if he loses that pylon, It's going to be supply blocked.
Yep. Well, the links will.
Not
No,
worth it.
Nerchio!
Wow. Okay, well, ShoWTimE was messing up at first, but then Nerchio kind of messed up himself. Second hatchery about to finish.
It still feels quite clean, though, the way. I still think that Resonating Glaives is a much better answer, by the way. Because I just don't see how you're supposed to deal with it if you don't have a baiting nest. Don't forget that last game, Nerchio, he had no link speed to like the 9-minute mark. How on earth would he have ever dealt with like 8-9 adepts with Resonating Glaives? I wonder if ShoWTimE is gonna... Maybe a 1-gate Stargate could be decent as well. Because then obviously A, you'll always be ready for the mutas, and B, the Oracle should force out some spores and pick off a couple drones.
I mean, ShoWTimE's really good with his oracles as well, and from there he knows how to go into 3 bases, get 1 or more robos, go into immortals. I want to see some more epic lurker action. I always thought that these lurker games that Nerchio played against ShoWTimE were like some of the most entertaining PvZs that I've ever seen.
Yep, I agree. And lately we've seen the lurker make a small comeback again in his matchup, which makes me happy. But of course, it's hard to make them work because you can't just sit back on lurkers and think they are the overruling unit on the ground. Like, they're strong, but with a decent engagement and enough Immortals and Archons, even lurkers will melt. Because that Protoss army with Storm is just incredibly powerful on the ground. It's going to be a Stargate, though, and I think that's smart. I think the Dark Templar that we saw in Game 1, I think that was the worst thing considering the economies and the way that tech was shaping up. I really think that almost every other solution, Stargate, Glaives, I think it all would have been better.
Overlord will spot the Stargate, but Stalker should get rid of it. Oh, actually, no, he didn't see. He didn't reveal that the Overlord had seen it. So he's going to be able to make it out of there. The other one on the left-hand side.
Accidental full wall, I've thought. I think that ShoWTimE messed
up. Yeah, you have to, right?
Yeah. Otherwise you have
could have tried to kill the rocks, but we'll see you in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's like, okay. It's like, oh, this is not that bad, right? And then suddenly you look at the moment you're warping your third nexus, you're like, 6:45, oh my god, I'm so dead.
Zerg has like Spire about to finish.
Yeah. It's all because I didn't want to cancel my gateway. Oh no. Mistakes were made.
Nerchio made a lot of queens actually, so he's gonna skip on spores for as long as he can against the oracles. That he knows are coming. Maybe he'll get one in a little bit there, because you know that if there is a second oracle, 2 queens in position will not be enough.
No, he's gonna end up losing quite a few drones. There was 1 drone ready to morph into something already.
Yeah, Spire maybe. Because look, he's on 3 gases.
Yeah, but can you go Spire when you already see the oracle?
It's Nerchio, man. Come on.
I don't know. I'm not feeling Aspire. Nidus! That's good.
Just after the Oracle left.
Okay, so this is really interesting.
Yeah, it was like, that's quite a few queens.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you can defend like that, but...
Okay, there is a Void Ray, and the Void Ray is good, but if the queen count is high enough, it's still gnarly. Look at this. It feels like ShoWTimE is almost ready for this, because he already has a...
He's on 3 gates. I think Nerchio was probably hoping that ShoWTimE would play a bit greater than this, rush that third base. But even Robo starting now.
Yeah.
And that Mothership Core is building up on energy. Should have 1, maybe even 2 overcharges by the time this happens.
I think the most important thing is that ShoWTimE gets 2 pylons.
Oh, there's not going to be vision. Overlord died near the base of ShoWTimE.
Yeah, then you have to do it outside, but do you really want to do it outside?
No, you don't, but you have to.
Yeah. No other choice.
Look at that. It's actually hard to see that Nidus building right now on this map. Yeah. I was like, where is it?
I mean, if it's behind here, then you have plenty of time to get extra pylons, and I think that's the most important thing. And the force fields are going to be very useful as well.
Yeah, ShoWTimE warping in Stalkers to stand behind the wall there and make sure he can deal with it properly. Probably going to be starting an Immortal as well off of that Robo as soon as he can.
It's still kind of like...
supply blocked.
It's still not that easy to hold this. Like, I know it should be a hold at this point, but it's not easy.
There's a sentry ready to force field. Cybercore going to be exposed though.
I think the gateway unit count should be high enough. And don't forget about the oracles, guys. The oracles can still come in very handy as well.
The oracle.
It kills queens so fast. Spire
on the way behind this.
Nerchio is kind of faking it. I mean, at
this
least
is like a has game playing Zerg almost by Nerchio.
Going up to 3 bases during all of this. ShoWTimE, like, he's making a cannon and stuff, but I wouldn't say that he's super overreacting. Like, he's still building work as long as he goes up to 3 bases in time. And the beautiful thing about Abyssal, like TLO said, is that you can take your third base wherever you want. So he doesn't have to worry about cleaning up the creep and stuff. The Spire is interesting though. Like, stock count is already quite high. I don't know.
Good kiting here from ShoWTimE so far.
Yeah, he knows by now that like if Nerchio truly wanted to bust down this ramp, he would have taken a lot more risk than he actually
He
did.
could have gone across the map with the oracles and try and kill a couple of drones here and there. Like, sure, there are spawns in those mineral lines, but the
Oh,
macro
he got the Nidus network. So that means that all of these units are trapped. The Immortal just shot it down. What are you going to do now? Nerchio cannot afford to lose all these Queen stot.
He has 2 corrosive bile at a time with just the 2 Ravagers, and I think this is going to get chased down and killed. Eventually, he starts to not deny this,
Yeah,
but ShoWTimE still kiting very actively.
Nerchio is buying time now. That was totally fake. There's no way he wants to fight. All he wanted to do is get everything in the Nidus, and he does get it. Good
Made
job.
it to safety. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 3rd base starting shortly after this here from ShoWTimE, just right above his natural, because the 3rd base is blocked by creep.
The Phoenix though, Todd. First Phoenix already on the way. So this Muda transition, I don't know. I think Nerchio made it somehow happen in game number 1, but this should normally never happen with the first
Yeah,
Phoenix.
ShoWTimE is anticipating this somehow too, because he didn't see the Spire. He's like, well, he's on lair tech already, it's Nerchio.
Yeah, and he's probably wondering what can I die to, right? And now he spots the Spire with Revelation. The Oracle stays alive as well. And this Chrono Boost out your
You
Phoenix.
can kill the hatch, the oracles.
I'd like to see him get +1, but it's not super important. As long as
Nerchio kind of panicked, by the way, getting a bunch of spine crawlers, but they're on the high ground. His base on the ground is the one that's going to be attacked.
I have
Phoenix is being left at home. ShoWTimE is so smart.
I have no idea how Nerchio is supposed to turn this around. The only thing you can say is that the Stalkers don't have Blink, so maybe enough Roaches, but there's still a couple of Immortals. 7 drones get picked up by these Oracles in the blink of an eye.
A couple of Mudas about to fly into those Phoenixes here back at home of ShoWTimE. Let's see if he's paying attention.
I can imagine a world where Nerchio is just going to tap out soon. Even though he has 70 army supply, he's going to try to clean this up, but it's 3 Immortals. There's a Void Ray, there's a whole bunch of Stalkers. And I have no idea what Nerchio is supposed to do against it with the economy
ShoWTimE pulling back.
that he's had. He's going to get a Hydra then. That's probably his best choice. So I'm going to try to get Hydra.
He's waiting for the Prism maybe to go.
Does he know about the other hedge? Yeah, he did spot it. I'm actually surprised. He's showing a lot of respect to that army.
Yeah, feels like he has enough already. Maybe he's content with where he's at economically, like knowing that Nerchio barely got an actual 3rd now.
And invested in Mudas that really haven't done anything. I like the way what Nerchio is doing. He's just gonna hide them for a while, maybe wait until the Phoenixes are out of position and then suicide them and at least try to get a handful of Protoss. But this Protoss army, with the economy that Nerchio has had throughout this game, should normally not die really to anything. Where are those Phoenixes? 5 of them just chilling at home. 5 Phoenix against 5 Mudas. Now that's an unfair fight if I've ever seen one. Nerchio's gonna bring them home. He knows that he needs every unit he can to defend against this push. Without Blink though, this is kind of a clumsy Protoss army without Blink, right? Because like a lot of Stalkers won't be able to fight at once.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for ShoWTimE to eventually attack into this, but I think he doesn't necessarily plan on it. Like he's going to go for a transition, charge lots, High Templars, maybe even Archons and attack before. He's ahead in supply.
Going up to 4
Neural
bases.
Parasite. Nerchio is such a big fan of that. Almost every game against Protoss, especially if he faces air and he has infestors, he goes for that.
You know what's really good against Stalkers stuff?
Immortals.
Exactly. I think Idra said that once upon a time. The famous video. They're really good.
He just said a lot of things.
The Protoss units. Roach Immortal is very good against Stalker, that's for sure. Oop.
It's almost like as if he was waiting for him to shoot that.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm not looking.
The
epic bait.
He's just having fun right
She
now.
baited.
He's
Baiting nests on the way.
building
And
up.
Hive now starting for Nerchio, so we're seeing a little bit of everything.
He made a Hydra down, but he hasn't made a single Hydra. But he's been kind of broke. I mean, there's
So many gateways are up, by the way, in ShoWTimE's main. Yeah, I think he can just go for it there. 4th base on the way. He's in a super comfortable position.
not very often you see a game at this level, Todd, with 20 Stalkers and no Blink. Massive warp in actually in the main base. Charge is done as well, so these Zealots are just going to go to town with everything that Nerchio has in his game.
13 of them in total. But there will these Zerglings. He traps a lot of this army out of position here. And when infestors start going down at this rate, it's not going to be good for Nerchio here. ShoWTimE taking a huge supply lead.
Yeah, this army is just too powerful, I think. A couple of crosser balls will land, trying to connect with the Immortal, but it doesn't matter. ShoWTimE will even up the series, 1 apiece. After a pretty convincing game 2 there. He said that 12 pool, yeah, you tricked me in game 1.
Yeah.
You made damn sure not to get tricked in game number 2. And also, of course, You know, the Stalker, sniping that Overlord, Todd. You caught it just in time. That was massive. No Nidus in the main, made everything so much easier.
Yeah, usually like when you go for this, the fact that the Nidus is invulnerable is what makes it so strong. It comes out in the main, and even though Protoss is attacking it directly, you got transfuses to work with. But I think Nerchio maybe could have stood a little bit more back with his initial Overlord, the one on the top right-hand side, or on the bottom right-hand side. Waited until Lair finished, and then made an Overseer, and then flew that from further away, and then got in the Nidus. Because like if you don't have detection in your opponent's main base, you're in trouble.
But even then, with double Oracle and the Void Ray out, you know, and a Mothership Core with plenty of energy and triple gate, it was unlikely to work.
It was better for sure. It would have been better than this slow Nidus outside of the wall of ShoWTimE, who's, by the way, probably the best defensive Protoss in Europe.
Yeah, I still liked what Nerchio tried to make out of the game. You know, instead of just running your units into a brick wall and seeing them die one by one, he sort of tried to transition out of it, but ShoWTimE just never truly gave him a chance to recover. Walked across the map, did something about the base, and played it very well. What we expect from the man that we call Europe's best Protoss. We're waiting for game invites to game number 3. Could be played on one of your predictions, Todd. Maybe Newkirk? I think Nerchio doesn't like Newkirk. Maybe he vetoed it. But Undergrounds is a real carrier map, so I'm not sure if he's a fan of that either.
Yeah. It's ShoWTimE. He doesn't go carriers very often. He's capable of it, don't get me wrong.
I think maybe a Cactus Valley. I'm feeling a Cactus. What do you say?
What about Paladino? Let's get crazy.
I think that ShoWTimE probably vetoes Paladino now.
Maybe he has a secret build.
I mean, Paladino, I don't think it's a great map, but it is kind of fun to play because on that map you can just do all the builds you normally don't do because you think they might be bad. And your regular builds often don't work because every other attack of your opponent can just arrive so much faster. So Paladino is truly a map where you have to think outside of the box, a little bit like Dassault Station. And even though Dassault wasn't a great map, it provided some of the most epic games of all time. Scarlet against Stats at home Surrey Cup. Oh my god. That was such a sick game.
Cactus Valley. Maybe a longer game? I like how you were saying, like, yeah, we could be seeing a long series and stuff. I was like, yeah, compared to the PvZ we saw, like, this is going to be short and swift.
12-minute games are...
Even though, like, score-wise, you know, you're not surprised if it's a 3-2. No. But map-wise, like, we don't really see very, very long games out of these two. Usually it's decided before. I
think if you have to make a prediction for this series, which obviously is a very hard one to make, and this is a very big series, guys. The winner of this series will guarantee themselves a top 3 finish, which is all you need for the direct seed into WCS Austin. So there's a lot on the line for both these fantastic players. But I think the most popular prediction would probably be 3-2 for ShoWTimE. I think that's the way that most people would probably look at it.
Zergs out there would probably say 3-2 Nerchio, but anyway.
No, they wouldn't. They would say 3-0 ShoWTimE because they complain about Zerg being too weak.
That's true. I didn't think about that. All right, starting in the top left-hand side of the map, playing as the red Protoss, it is Arma Team's ShoWTimE.
Getting a pylon on the high ground, Todd. Respecting that RNG of the 4-player map. A man who has 12 pull twice in a row could do it again, and if you scout him last, things could get a little ugly. Over here on the left bottom side, looking in the main base of our Polish Zerg, the man himself, King Arthur, Nerchio.
RN Jesus, almost as hard to deal with as Action Jesus himself.
Yeah, well,
these early pulls.
There wasn't a lot of RNG there. You know, people often forget how far StarCraft has come, but just think about Lucifron traveling from Spain to Sweden to then play best of 1 on a 4-player map and get 6 pulled by Action Jesus and be eliminated of the tournament.
He didn't lose because of that, though. He lost his Reaper or something. Like, he had one job that was to keep his Reaper alive, and he lost it, I think. Wasn't it something like that?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he attacked the rocks. Our producer is telling us in my ear. He remembers, see? You've got a hardcore StarCraft fan there.
But it's just sad. Best of 1. I mean, Zoka once upon a time was eliminated because of a coin flip.
Yeah, well.
There were some dark times.
Didn't you go to ESWC or something at some point and then you lost 2 grunts and then you like almost forfeited in your mind?
No. You're making it up, Todd.
I'm just joking.
I was dominating that day. Oh no, wait, that was the day before. 5-0, 10-0 in maps. Those were the days. Day 2. Well, we got an update for you guys from the lower bracket, and actually kind of an interesting one. Bly defeated Elaser in the ZVZ series. So Bly having a very strong run. Basically guaranteeing himself, I think, at least top 8 in the tournament. something like it's either top 8 or top 6. I think it's top 8. So that's good. He's just 2 series away.
He wants that Texas barbecue, man.
Can't blame him.
You can almost smell it.
I mean, Bly knows that last year at the Dreamhack event, he had a fantastic run. And even though this time it's called WCS Austin, it's of course held simultaneously during Dreamhack Austin, the same venue as well. So maybe it feels like it could give him wings and he could go far. Once again, a 1-gate Stargate here from ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE, like, he plays very safe early on, but I always hate having an open wall. Like, I always just feel like if there's 2-3 links showing up, especially if they go for early speed, even if it's not economic and doesn't necessarily put the Zerg ahead, I hate chasing links.
Yeah, but like, he's walled off on top of the ramp, so he would have just have to evacuate the natural, I guess, if links came.
Yeah, but even if it's just 4, you don't.
And he's going to be sealed off by then. Look at the production tab, speed, lining up well with when those gates go down. How do you like this wall?
No, that's good. It's perfect. I mean, it's not very
That's
hard.
the way you do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. This is the perfect wall on Cactus. It's not very hard, but for some reason, sometimes I mess up my walls on Cactus Valley, and I always feel embarrassed. This is like the one Protoss-friendly wall-off map, and it's.
You know how you don't mess it up? You try to evacuate your base after you've done sealing it off, and then you can immediately see if the probe can leave or not.
No, it's just mostly like it's.
But then
like
you look in your main base while you're doing that, and there's 8 links.
Oracle opening over here for ShoWTimE. Once again, we know that he's a fan of it. This time, obviously, Nerchio's opening is a lot more economic. So it will just all come down to that mid-game defense. Getting a Spore Crawler here. After he scouts the Stargate, it's going to be double Oracle. Double Oracle, of course, is sweet because every single time you focus the drone, you one-shot them. With a single Oracle, it always takes basically like 2 volleys, even though it's a beam. But 2 ticks of the beam. It's a lot easier with 2 Oracles.
I think ShoWTimE's definitely going to be aggressive here in a bit with the adepts. Already being on 3 gates, if you walk 3 now and then goes for 3 more, it's going to be quite a few for Nerchio to try and hold on against.
It's a popular push, right? Like it's like 6-7 adapts without resonating glaze, but with double Oracle support. And then if you can get into a mineral line and you can let the adapts take care of a Spore Crawler, it becomes really frustrating for a Zerg to deal with.
And also, like, ShoWTimE's insanely good. He's already got 2 Oracles. I feel like he has a lot of initiative to try and spot how many units there are defensively for Nerchio, and then decide whether he wants to go for it. I feel like, personally, when I do this build, I either decide if I'm going to go or if I'm not going to go from the start, and then I stick to it. ShoWTimE being able to like fly around with the Oracle, spot how many Zerglings there are, might affect his decision of whether or not he goes for it.
Like, obviously, this is not a late turn access, but 5 minutes is also not like as fast as it could be, huh? Even though he skipped out on the Mothership Core. So this is an opening that I'm not going to say that ShoWTimE needs to do damage, because they feel like then I'm pushing it a little bit. But it's also not the most economic way to play PvZ. There are definitely some greedier versions out there.
ShoWTimE saw that there was no gas on the natural, and it looks like he's opting not to go for any kind of adept aggression early on. Barely missed that overlord on the left-hand side with his 1 Void Ray. Might be able to find that later.
This is old school ShoWTimE.
Good Spore location, by the way, in every base by Nerchio. It feels like there is no real hole where you could go for stasis wards with the Oracles.
Let's see. I'm sure that our man ShoWTimE is going to try at least once, because nobody likes to make 2 Oracles and not get a single drone kill.
He's a sick pilot, man.
Drops a Revelation.
Some sort of Schumacher.
The Overlord, excuse me, the Void Ray is getting a little bit of work done.
Double Robo already on the way, by the way, for ShoWTimE, so it's just going to be a ton of Immortals like we used to see him do a lot.
But he used to always build his Immortals.
On the 3rd base,
yeah. And then leaves like 1 spot for a cannon. Oh, it's cute SimCity.
Double Prism. Oh, okay, no, never mind. That's an Observer. I got scared for a second. You wouldn't have the gateways actually to really support that. Like, we should be seeing some sort of gateway explosion sometime soon. Charge is going to start now. And I expect Templar Archives to go down momentarily, especially because ShoWTimE's already saturating the gases here very soon on his 3rd base.
1 Queen is going to fall, but okay, well, good job there. I actually think he could use the Oracles and the Void Ray to deny the 4th base. Wouldn't you like to see that? I think that would be really sick. But I guess he's afraid that he's going to need the Void Ray at home, so that's why he doesn't want to do it.
Hydra is then going down now by Nerchio. By the way, you know how this goes, right? If Nerchio realizes he's playing against a lot of Immortals and he's on Roach Hydra, Lurkers, mate, we might get it on this map.
Yeah, especially with these spawning positions, it's decent as well. Oracle got picked off there by the Queens. That's actually super nice news for Nerchio, because if those 2 Oracles would have started working on the 4th, you know, they could have potentially got a couple drones there and just be annoying. So picking up one of the oracles is always very nice. A little uncharacteristic there to lose it on ShoWTimE side, but
L'explosion des gates. I know you love it when I say that.
it does. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Channels.
ShoWTimE was actually some sick saturation already across 3 bases.
Yeah, it's kind of a slower game, right, compared to the other
Yeah.
ones where a lot of stuff happened early on. This game, both players just macroing up, playing it very safe. ShoWTimE just keeping track on this Zerg army. I think you're right about lurkers potentially. I
Yeah,
can
usually
really
as
see
soon
it.
as Muscular Augment finishes, you see that start. And Nerchio, like I said before, I haven't seen too many Zergs better than him with lurkers. Maybe there would be a couple of Koreans here and there, maybe like Dark or something, but he's incredible. Decision making, the split that he does with his army. Only the absolute best Protosses can deal with that.
Oh, and the War Prism being on the other side of the map. You know what I love to see? And I was about to say it, Dropper Lords, especially in these positions, Todd, because we know that Nerchio loves doing that. He loves going for Hydra drops. It seems like ShoWTimE is sort of anticipating it as well with a couple of random pylons that could not only spot it, but can also deal with it. But these positions, I think they're perfect for
Oh, he might spot. Oh, the have you seen Phoenix? He was queued right on top of this. Oh, Nerchio's barely gonna dodge it. That is so sick.
Look, and Nerchio's army is revealed in the middle of the map. Now he's gone, and ShoWTimE needs to drop another revelation. He might be expecting it. He's like, all right, where is it?
He sent a Void Ray there to patrol.
But one Void Ray against that many Overlords with units inside of
He
it?
could recall with everything in the main. Because almost everything is there. There's not actually going to be a simultaneous attack on the 3rd base. He's going to recall. ShoWTimE. He could kill everything super fast.
Well, if everything unloads, though, I mean, it's massive.
It will.
Okay, that's a lot of Immortals. Photon Overcharge could as well.
Storms.
But he could always pick it up, right?
I mean,
I think you can pick it up.
No, yeah, the Void Ray actually falls. Nerchio gonna have to evacuate.
And now everything is super far out of position, and maybe that will allow Nerchio to find an opening elsewhere.
I'm surprised he wasn't timing an attack on that 3rd base at the same time.
He didn't have enough, I think. Now everything has to
supply
come up.
blocks.
Everything has to come through his little choke toad. That's super
Some
annoying.
sick force fields are gonna buy some time here for ShoWTimE.
So exposed. One Templar
Storms.
falls, second falls as well. This is not good for ShoWTimE. He's losing a lot of very expensive units. A couple of decent storms there though, but he can't get out. He's gonna have to kill his own gateway. Nerchio's like, all right, I'll help you a little bit with that, but he gets another Immortal there. What a sick game by Nerchio. Is it enough though? As the Immortal count is still ridiculously high.
ShoWTimE's cleaning up a lot of this army. Nerchio pulling back, trying to kite as much as he can. Roaches still doing work in the 3rd base there.
It's just...
Oh, nice pick up at the last second here against these Zealots that were gonna slay all of these Roaches. Nerchio gonna be dropping right behind this mineral line maybe. Or just gonna evacuate here for now.
17 Hydras and Lurker then all the way. A couple of Zealots getting picked off. ShoWTimE has been so busy with defending that he actually completely forgot about his War
and
Prism.
Probe's dying in the natural of ShoWTimE now. He has to evacuate for a little bit. He's being stretched apart all over the place.
Yep, and he has no vision over here on the right side. All of his units are out of position. High Templars are not going to save the day. Means one more dead gateway perhaps. Both High Templars just die. Sick play by Nerchio. I'm loving this, Todd.
He's going to be sniping that pylon as well just before pulling back. These Roaches have been so annoying in the natural and killed quite a few probes.
Zealous is getting picked off left and right.
ShoWTimE, he might need to remember he's got an Oracle still alive. If he can set up a couple stasis ward all over the place, he will buy him a lot of time and he will stop being stretched apart.
9 Immortals though, Todd. Good revelation. The Oracle does get picked up though. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that War Prism across the map is super dangerous, by the way. As much as there is some spine crawlers on that 4th base of Nerchio, if ShoWTimE goes for one more round of warp in there, because he's got the High Templars at home, he should be safe against any amount of Hydralisks. The Lurkers eventually going to be the big threat though.
Todd, 9 more. 9 more Dropper Lords.
I guess the 7 from earlier didn't work.
It's going to bait out a couple storms. I mean, ShoWTimE's army is incredibly powerful. Here come these Zealots, by the way, that you mentioned. Look how fast Nerchio reacts, immediately putting those queens to safety near the spine, making it harder and harder. There's still this one Void Ray on patrol here. If that Void Ray could get an Overlord that's full of units, that would be very juicy.
And it would be hard to recall. I guess he can recall a couple of Immortals he has around his natural, but ShoWTimE might even just walk there. He's going to try to target some of these Overlords. Hydra disc are unloaded immediately.
These Zealots are not going to be enough.
Oh, ShoWTimE's pulling his army away from the 3rd base. Again.
Left nothing behind. This Hydra drop is fantastic by Nerchio, who's still maxed out. And he's always trading. He's actually quite rich. On power is the Forge there as well, even though nothing was being researched. Mothership Core dies.
Yeah, some storms landed on the right-hand side on an army of Nerchio, who was forced back here for now.
Look at these Hydras doing work against the Immortals. 2 Immortals actually did die. Lurkers on the right side, man. What a game by Nerchio. Isn't this the Nerchio that we all love? Like, that's just sick play. My Protoss heart.
Every time I see this, I'm like, all right, 99% of Zergs would have just kind of sat back, not done much with this.
Run into Immortals and Storm and complain about it being unbreakable.
Yeah, or let the Protoss max. Look at the supply now. Nerchio just towering over ShoWTimE. He's building up an economy as well.
Toad, I'm looking at it. There's still a lot of High Templars though. But Lurkers can be pretty decent against Storm. Cannon is going to help
these
out.
Lurkers can just edge forward slowly but surely.
The Immortal count is still quite high. 10 actually. Wow, he had 94.
When there's this many Lurkers, like,
well,
this army becomes so bad.
You know, Immortals can, if they can get on top of it, they can actually still kill everything. Look at Nerchio, he's still sharking around. Might potentially kill the 4th couple of Immortals. Super exposed there. He's gonna jump on it with all his Immortals, and here you go, Todd. Immortals against Lurkers. If there's nothing to protect the Lurkers, it can be enough. But of course,
I think Nerchio will be happy to trade though, because he's got roaches all over the place. Pig would be going crazy if he was casting these. There's roaches in the natural, roaches in the 3rd base.
There's gonna be a daily on this, and he's gonna growl, Todd.
It's gonna be PG-13 daily. Big. Archons being added on now for ShoWTimE.
Sick job by ShoWTimE, and actually just not dying. And slowly, but I mean, not having a fort hurts. Oh my god.
And again, another drop. And he sets it up. He only sets it up for now. Even before ShoWTimE, he's thinking about leaving this base.
A lot of people forget about this, but Nerchio used to be a random player actually, and he's channeling his inner Terran right now, Todd. He's like, I missed this. I want to start dropping Protoss again.
But it's typical random player actually to do weird stuff, or like stuff that he considered outside of the box like this, like to drop. So in this case, Nerchio using the full extent his racist capabilities. He's gonna pick up. Hey, you're right. Ignite Afterburners out of there with these babies.
Look at all these Immortals. They're like, come on, cowards.
You want a piece of me?
Look at all these probes, excuse me. ShoWTimE again gonna try to get a 4th base over here. He does have, that's a scary army, Todd. That is a really scary army.
Lots of storms available.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of storms. 10 High
almost
Templars.
too many.
Yeah.
Oh, the Nexus gets cancelled.
1 Archon for a couple of Hydras. So just still,
I talked about ShoWTimE's defense, but man,
yeah,
this is sick. That is actually alive in this.
I mean, ShoWTimE against TY. No, ShoWTimE against Maru actually of WESG in China. That was so sick as well on Daybreak. His defense was just immaculate for like 15 minutes, and I was blown away. And then in the end, he got a little trophy. Look at these train of Immortals. The Roach is going to be dropped on top of it. Storms are too far. Maybe he should have left a couple of High Templars.
That is so sick. He's channeling his inner Maru as a Zerg player here, attacking into this army and dropping on top of it at the same time. Lurkers are already set up in that location. And I think there just might be too much here from the Polish Zerg.
Oh, you got to be careful. There's 4 Lurkers there. Can he get the robots? The Void Ray is going to clean up these Lurkers now. What a game. There's so much stuff going on. Zealots working on spines in the bottom side of the dot. There's like 4 fights at once. These guys are playing out of their mind. Oh, drop 2 Banelings on this. And make it to the front page of Reddit overall. People are going to be like, why is this so special? Just appreciate it.
Yeah, just shut up. Yeah. Stop hating.
Just upvote. Yep. Hydras find the prism. I love it. He's positioning it below it. Very well done there.
Yeah, ShoWTimE, I think he's had enough of this. He realizes that he has to go for an attack, so he's going to move across the map and actually go for it.
That moment where you can actually storm just random drones because you have enough storm anyway. I mean, Nerchio's army, Todd. It's big, but it's not as big as it once upon a time was. Is he gonna base trade or something? Like, what's happening here?
Oh, these High Templars! They're storming for 1 Hydra. That's like the saddest thing.
What's in this Overlord? A Hydra.
Alright, Nerchio happy to base trade. He's got a ton of Spine Crawlers actually at home. Look at this wall.
Good luck.
This is the I cannot lose a base trade wall.
Void Ray left behind to clean up a couple of those Dropper Lords. Couple of observers over here as well, in case there are a few more Lurkers. Immortals will snipe these buildings, but ShoWTimE, does ShoWTimE have any probes out? He's got 7. Okay, there you go.
Oh no, he's dropping a High Templars on the 3rd base. They get found and sniped immediately. Tough times.
ShoWTimE needs to start warping in buildings soon, though. At least he has probes here. What a sick game. Today is just the
He
day
needs to
of
start
sick
considering he lost the
games.
game.
Tempo needs a new, make a new song, because it's not the natural, but it's the main where the Hydras are dancing right now, Todd. Going ham, look at this, like a mosh pit. How many immortals are left? 6.
Oh, he's got a Nexus out on the map.
Yeah. He had some money, he had 700 minerals.
It's gonna have to be a sick comeback there. Well, actually, wait.
Okay, immortals are good.
There's
but
2 lurkers.
Oh, he's gonna lose the immortal, that's bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's really bad.
Oh, and these Hydras, they're on the hunt.
Nerchio looking to eliminate ShoWTimE here in game number 3 on Cactus Valley. He's getting his own Spire as well, which obviously is quite smart because there isn't much anti-air, Todd. There is an Archon and a lot of Storm. Oh, ShoWTimE is going to get eliminated, Todd. His probes are exposed. The Nexus has been found. ShoWTimE knows it. GG. Nerchio takes the lead. Sick game.
Very well mannered by ShoWTimE. I definitely would have pretended I didn't see that was my last building. A good job by Nerchio. This is what we are used of him. It's not the first time we see him use these drop lords, and that was the smart choice here. ShoWTimE kind of smelled it coming, but the split maybe wasn't good enough for him to stabilize, because if he had defended just slightly better and maxed out, I think he would have won that game.
And I mean, even recalling, like recalling sounds really good in theory, but then you end up losing a couple of units and they just pick up, and then everything else is so exposed.
It's really slow. Like you recall and then they're right there frozen.
Yeah, it's like 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds are the longest 2 seconds, Todd. Like, it's just like, all right, anytime now, like, please. I believe we had an update from our producer, but I didn't hear it. So could you repeat, please? All right, apparently, Todd, you're working OT tonight. Snoot Sterile has started, but apparently we're going to show the deciding maps.
That's how you translate with it.
Yes.
What the producer said.
No, our producer said that Snoot vs. Sterile has started, but you know, if this series ends and Snoot Sterile is not over yet, we can maybe hop into the deciding match. We've been live for 5 hours, Todd.
Yeah, it's almost like we're actually working a day in our life, almost.
Yeah, it's almost.
Or maybe it's not, because we will be watching this at home anyway.
And the games have been pretty good, so that helps. The only thing that doesn't help is that I just keep on wondering till what time is the kebab store open tonight? Because I'm getting a little hungry.
I know a few ones that open late.
All right.
I think we're safe.
Good.
Kebab mit alles bitte. WCS is up 2-1 against DNS right now. That's being streamed on O Gaming TV.
Okay, that's a good series as well.
Check that out, guys.
Nerchio needs a sec. I'm just letting them know we're ready. Game number 4 is going to be played on Newkirk. I know for a fact that that is not Nerchio's favorite map. It's a map that in general, in all matchups, he doesn't perform the way he would like.
He said that to you?
Yeah, we spoke about it. I think during Katowice or something.
Wow.
So
I didn't know you were Nerchio's confident. Congratulations.
I'm not.
Only a very few select people get to chat with him.
Ever since the day,
I'm not one of them.
Ever since the day Nerchio followed me on Twitter.
He did?
Yeah.
You're one of the what, like 10 man?
No,
How many is it?
he opened up. He follows at least 25 people by now.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you unfollowed some after that.
Not me.
42, wow.
Yeah, see, that's a new man. Nerchio used to follow like 3.
It's going to be time for a cleanup real soon, if you ask me.
I'll make the cut. I'm not worried. Me and Nerchio. Just every now and then I see Nerchio, I'm like, God, Protoss is ridiculous, isn't it? He's like,
by the way, both of them are using their portraits in game.
Not the Nerchio one? ShoWTimE is not Nerchio today?
No, ShoWTimE.
Alrighty, we are loading into Newkirk Precinct. I want to say city, but it's not a city.
I'm so glad I corrected you.
Over here on the right bottom side, we're looking in the main base of the man who I thought was the favorite for this series, but he's on the ropes. Can he bring it back? It's ShoWTimE. Now, of course, there is a lower bracket as well, so even if ShoWTimE would fall here, that doesn't mean that he's out of the running for one of those top 4 placements, which gives you a direct seed into WCS Austin. And Mr. Merlo over here.
His opponent in the blue, going for a quick pull once again, and it's Nerchio.
What do you think is the thought process behind all these 12 pulls?
I'm not sure. Maybe he wants to try and surprise ShoWTimE a little bit with it, which is a bit silly because ShoWTimE always scouts early.
But this time, at least, Nerchio should be able to get a faster hatch. At least that's what I wanted to say. But now
maybe he's faking that he's being really aggressive with this, and then as soon as the probe leaves, he will actually start a hatchery.
It would have been actually quite smart, but yeah, the probe is still here. ShoWTimE is too smart to just randomly send the probe.
It almost feels like if you play a game of hide and seek with ShoWTimE, it just like insta finds you every time, like he's one step ahead of the meta.
He's got those night vision goggles.
As I say that, he's missing that hatchery right now.
But he did see the 8 links leave, so he has that information. But yeah, the hatch being down, that's a little bit unfortunate. Can deny it this time. What we saw his defense on Belcher, it was excellent. Even though he ended up losing the game, but that's not because of his early game defense. Let's see. There are a couple of Zergs out there that generally feel that they can just always 12 pool, and worst case scenario it's even. But I think if you defend as well as ShoWTimE did, and then you follow it up in the right way, I don't think that's the case. Otherwise, everybody would 12 pool. And I truly hope that we're not going to go into an era where everybody 12 pools. Because on 4-player map stuff, that's not going to be pretty.
After these games, maybe it's going to be the case.
2 Zealots here. ShoWTimE already wiping in his Nexus. Shouldn't lose that many probes. Nerchio will be happy with a couple. Almost got one there, but the assimilator saved the life of that probe. Nerchio really wants it, and he does get one. A lot of Zerglings are very bruised.
Yeah, the Butcher Adept is about to come out, and that guy is ready to get a quadruple kill at least.
The man with the golden gun. 1 shot, 1 kill. Well, not that one. Of course, you had to shoot on the high HP Adept, Junior Ling. I mean, he got 4 kills there.
Behind this, do we see another Stargates? It would be very delayed, because second guy is actually being taken pretty late here by ShoWTimE, that still managed to rush that Nexus as soon as he could.
I'd like to see ShoWTimE send his 2 Zealots away. 2 Zealots, 2 Adepts, they can do some serious work in this phase in the game.
I always think that, but then every time I send them across the map, they're just gonna get crushed to nothing, and I don't even feel like I forged this many links.
Twilight Console. Well, let's see if it's going to be for Dark Templars once again. They do love the double Archon drop on Neilkirk in general. I still feel against an opening like this, where there is no gas, that, well, there is gas now, but it's still going to take a long time. It probably even goes layer before speed.
Is he going to shade in?
I think that would be great. Like, well, there's a couple links, but ShoWTimE is very good in microing. Oh, that's bad though. Overcommitment. Oh man, overcommitted there. Loses the first Adept almost immediately, and the second Adept, I actually think he's going to fall as well. He's not even going to try to shade out. Well, that wasn't great. We do see
some drones, I guess, even though the Walker count a little bit. Resonating glaives this time around. And Gateway is going to be added on now for ShoWTimE.
I'm a little bit surprised to also see him get the robot that early on. But we'll see what he decides to do. I just think regular 3-gauge resonating glaives would already be pretty damn successful.
Yeah, that's what he's going to go for. Ro16 on the way now for Nerchio, who earlier in game 1 seemed in no rush to go into a third base. He's that good, Nerchio, like that he can actually delay third base a lot and still be fine.
Mothership Core on the way now for ShoWTimE. Should get a Warp Prism, so he can start being super annoying with his Adepts. He can warp in a couple of Adepts, obviously at home, shade them across the map, and then also have the Prism.
What do you think about a 2 Stargate follow-up behind this? Would that be good?
Yeah, especially because there's a Roach Warren. I think in general 2 Stargate is always very good if you play against Roach builds. I think
after DTs as well? Not after DT drop, right?
Okay, that's a little too different. But against like any regular opening, I think.
You said always, man.
Against Roaches.
Took you literally.
Oh, no, I've never tried it. Maybe we should try it once. I'll give you an answer next time. Like against Ling Bane, the double Stargate style can be a little susceptible, and there are certain Hydra Bane pushes that are really hard to hold. But against Roaches, double Stargate is not bad. Overseer in the main for Nerchio, who's on match point, of course, could move on to the winner bracket final, upper bracket final, I should say, where he will go up against either Snoot or Sero, if he's able to close this one out. But
okay,
so far,
ShoWTimE needs to clear that Overlord on his third base ASAP. Like, I thought he had seen it, but it's taking forever to remove that. Unless he wants to go for a 2 base, but then it would be the most obvious 2 base of all time. He's warping in the depths. Instead of Nerchio's main base, they're going to be shading towards the natural base of there.
Very smart to leave a couple. Roach speed is obviously not done yet, so it's going to be very hard for Nerchio to clean this up. So far he's doing a good job in at least avoiding too much direct damage, but I almost feel like it's just a matter of time before a whole bunch of drones will fall. So Roach will a little bit out of position, a few more adepts being warped in. And look at the work account now, Todd.
I think he's going to all in. He's getting a second Immortal behind this. Oh, the Warp Prism barely survives.
1 HP. When it rains, it pours. Yeah, I mean, only 32 drones remain. It's just super hard to deal with this after you open up with a 12 pool, right? Because you just don't have the right amount of units.
Yeah.
And you're definitely not in a position where you can lose 10, 12 drones.
If ShoWTimE wasn't going to all in, the delay on his third base here definitely should encourage him to drop down a couple gateways and then go for it. But he goes for a forge.
Wow. Yeah.
Remember, creep receipts really fast nowadays, which thank God is the case. Remember when you used to take a whole minute for creep to disappear?
Well, the entire idea of Heart of the Swarm and Wings of Liberty, Todd. It's hard to forget. These two adepts are going to shade forward. Actually, find 2 more drones. The Observer is right above them. Nice, nice teamwork there. Nerchio is going to be a little bit aggressive, want to perhaps deny this Nexus. Nerchio has been taking a lot of economic damage still. 23 drones have gone down during this Adept Madness.
Adept Madness, I like it. 4th Immortal on the way now. I'm surprised to see ShoWTimE add only 1 more gate, by the way, in the main, with the amount of probes that he has. I guess he wanted to go for the 3rd Nexus here no matter what, as soon as he could.
The 3rd Nexus is very late, but it's kind of okay, considering the fact that Nerchio has been super low in economy as well. And we're going to see a bunch of Roaches go up against a whole bunch of Immortals. It's 3 Immortals already. The one risky thing is that this Prism is very low on HP, so maybe a couple of Corrosive Balls can take care of it. But yeah, you don't like Nerchio's position now, that's for sure. 7 Ravagers morphing at once. I mean, maybe some Ravager Bane action, even though he doesn't have a Baneling. Does he have a Zergling speed? No, he doesn't either. Could get Baneling speed though. Let's get a Baneling Nest.
If ShoWTimE knew how many Ravagers there are, I'm pretty sure we would be seeing a Robo Bay and a 2nd Robo facility or some Disruptors.
Yeah. Disruptors are pretty sweet. Still being annoying with this 1 Warp Prism. A few more drones will fall. 26 have gone down already in this game.
The Prism somehow still alive.
Corrosive Ball. Yeah, with 1 HP. So sad for Nerchio. Obviously now it has shields. ShoWTimE is going to send a Hallucinate Phoenix to the other side of the map. Gets a decent scout up.
So many Immortals out already. A 5th one just came out. He's got a 6th one on the way. ShoWTimE might just mass blink Stalkers and go for an attack on that 3rd base. We've seen a lot of Protosses, guys like Stats, really be encouraged to go for these huge attacks towards the 3rd base of the Zerg, just because it's hard to get a good engagement, it felt like. And there, in this game, there is not particularly a massive amount of creep spread, but Robo Bay is actually going to start now.
Yep, there you have it. You ask for it. +1 is done, Blink is done. What's the gateway count at right now? It's at 8, and that's a very solid number. You gotta love the way that this game is going for ShoWTimE. Even though his army is pretty small compared to the army of Nerchio, but it's gonna be hard for Nerchio to get a successful attack. Wants to kill the Observer. But there are cannons, the Immortal count is super high, there are pylons. ShoWTimE knows that all he needs to do is defend, and as long as he defends, eventually he's going to be more than fine. Because he's richer than his opponent and he has much, much better attack. But this is it for Nerchio. Can he land the best Corrosive Balls ever? Drop it right on top of these sentries, but with all these pylons here as well, the potential fault and overcharges that are available, it's going to be very hard for Nerchio, Todd.
Yeah, dodging the corrosive bite is going to be the only priority here for ShoWTimE, unless there is a ton of Zerglings swarming in. I don't think I've seen this kind of mass Immortal army really struggle against most Zerg ground armies. In this case, it's not really any different. ShoWTimE doing a good job dodging most of this corrosive bite. He's going to blink forward and go on the chase here against these Ravagers, and this might be the equalizer here for ShoWTimE. Up against Nerchio.
1 Immortal does fall there, but Nerchio knows it. GG, ShoWTimE evens up the series. And once again, Todd, we are going to Game 5.
Keeps on happening, man. These epic series, epic games. We mentioned that between these two, we expected it to be close and wouldn't be surprised by a 3-2. There it is.
Last map could be Paladino, but we expect that one to be vetoed by ShoWTimE.
It couldn't be Paladino.
Technically, it could be Paladino, Todd. Honor Grounds is probably vetoed. Well, Honor Grounds actually would make some sense.
Technically, a lot of things could happen.
Paladino, Honor Grounds, and what's the other option that we have? It's been a very long day.
Proxima Station.
Well, maybe it's Proxima, but I'm not sure if Nerchio is a big fan of Proxima, because it's super free, easy 3-base for Protoss. But it is going to be Proxima.
When it's free 3-base for Protoss, usually 3-base for Zerg as well.
Yeah. And the 4th base is a little bit tricky. Maybe Nerchio can make something happen here. Big series, the winner will advance to the upper bracket final, and that of course means a direct seed into WCS Austin later this month. But I think, Todd, even if they, one of these two obviously will end up losing here, I think through the lower bracket, they still got a pretty damn good shot. Because both these guys are fantastic. Both players are ready, all the casters are ready, and we are good to go with a final map on Proxima Station. Not exactly sure what's happening between Cero and Snoot. Would be awesome if our producer could give us some update about that.
Can we go into game? I want to show the portraits. I think it's so funny that these guys have their own portraits. We saw it for a second there. Here we go. Starting in the bottom hand side of the map here, playing as the red Protoss is of course ShoWTimE.
So I thought you were going full Drake there. You're like,
What?
he started in the bottom, and I was like, now he's here. You didn't go
And now
there.
he's on Proxima Station with the 3-3 base. Very quick scout by ShoWTimE on this map.
Over here on the top side of the map, of course, we're looking at the main base of our Polish Zerg, representing Ro16. It's Nerchio.
Okay, ShoWTimE's planning something cheeky, maybe? You think? Or is that just for his scouts?
I think he's just a little bit... Whoa. Okay, what?
The double block?
Oh my god, he's gonna do
Oh, Nerchio! He reacted on time.
Well,
But he doesn't have the
he just made a
minerals.
pull. He just made a pull, so...
He just wants to block that.
No, I think you're gonna see a pylon here as well. Right now, Todd. Pylon or no pylon? I say pylon.
Oh wow, he lost the probe.
Yeah, since Nerchio made the pull, this is not that big of a deal. He's also getting the gas. Gotta worry about potential Dropaloid play on this map. I actually think Dropaloid... This is a map where, obviously it's a good map for Protoss against Zerg. But for instance, against Terran, I just think it's such a nightmare because Medevacs can fly in from so many angles and they can idle behind your bases as well.
It's so funny, like you talked about the fourth base being like far away and stuff. Like, how are you supposed to make a hatchery somewhere if you can't make it on your pocket expansion or the one right outside your main? Like, it would be so far away. Imagine if you took the gold even, which ShoWTimE is checking right now.
Yeah, well, there are some builds actually. Some Zergs, they take the gold on the other side of the map. And then it just Queen Ling Roach Ravager.
There is a couple Zergs you should never do this against.
No.
If you double block the bases of Bly, like he actually has a hatch in your main base, it's like...
They'll be like, nice.
Really?
That means that your own Nexus is delayed. Shame on you. It's like, ah, this was supposed to be good. Well, Nerchio's natural is definitely going to be very late. I'm expecting him, Todd, to definitely go for something aggressive. Because you don't just want to macro your way out of this. It's a super late hatch.
A link drop?
Yeah, definitely a link drop. Maybe some Baneling drops later on as well. This is a great map. I'm kind of expecting ShoWTimE. I don't know. I want to say Stargate. I actually think without Stargate it becomes very hard to deal with Dropaloids here.
I saw his openers. What do you think about just DT drop?
Yeah, it's obviously not bad. I'm not going to say it's a bad option. But like, imagine what happened on Cactus Valley. You can do that here as well. And it's so annoying when you have to go through this with your Immortals. Dropaloid play.
He feels less likely though, right? No?
It's hard to get there. It's hard to get up there, but I wouldn't be surprised that.
I think in that game, ShoWTimE splits were a little bit of the problem. I think he would do a better job if he had to face that again. Maybe you get a couple more pylons in the main base, because remember, like if you get the initial defense, with these overlords dropping, you're going to be in good shape. Twilight Council now going down for ShoWTimE, as well as second Adept.
Could be just a straight up Resonating Glaives opening without a Robo, but I'm not expecting that since ShoWTimE seems to love the Robo all that much.
How did ShoWTimE's Mothership Core chase an Overlord away? Like when it's mine, the Overlord flies in and sees everything. Now somehow, he threw his Mothership Core towards the Overlord that was on the right. Even that one on the left is flying away. What is this?
It's very intimidating, Tom.
His Mothership Core is scarier than mine.
It's like, yeah, look at this big eye though. Wouldn't you be worried? Spinning eye comes close to you. Spore, very early Spore actually by Nerchio. Wow.
So not a Dark Shrine. I'm surprised, especially because he had a lot of gas here, ShoWTimE. Going for Resonating Glaives.
I mean, he was pretty successful with it on Newkirk. Obviously, that was a different type of game. Nerchio had a very bad economy early on because he opened up with 12 pull and didn't get much done. This time, look, Banelings. We're gonna see Baneling drops on this map, Todd. We have to. I actually think that defending with Link Bane in general against Adepts is a lot sweeter than with Roaches as well. It's super hard. Roach is always out of position, and even when you finally clean it up, you look at your mineral lines as a Zerg, and you're like, wow, I've got 9 drones in every mineral line. Adepts are ridiculous. It's a little easier with Link Bane. As long as you obviously don't underreact. You need to make sure you have enough Banelings.
I assume third base will start here momentarily for ShoWTimE. Perhaps even before he takes the gases on his natural, which are still not there. Oh, actually, no, he's going to go for that first.
+1 melee. Warp Prism is moving out. Getting a Roach one as well, though. So maybe it's going to be some Roach Ling Bane Ravager. Last game was purely Ravager, but that's because Nerchio simply didn't have the money to make Banelings.
We don't see much of a double Stargate transition anymore behind this. No. Whereas it used to be a little bit more the standard. I mean, not necessarily this exact build, right? Without the Robo.
Yeah, Resonating Glaze
I would
into
love
double
to see
Stargate. Could be good, but it's very hard to defend certain Hydra Bane pushes. Whoa. Yeah. Nerchio is right on top of it, but that's actually very good warping. You saw that? He protected the other adepts. Banelings are not ready yet. This is going to be ugly, I think, for Nerchio, man. This is going to be cancelled.
Oh, he can get in a good position as well to prevent a lot of surface area here from the Zergling. ShoWTimE.
This is really bad for Nerchio. The units were just out of position. These warpings were fantastic. The Baneling count is not high enough.
And he can warp in again here in a second. In the meantime, going to be starting to work on that third base of his.
+1 is not done yet. A couple of adepts will get cleaned up. Okay, actually pretty good job there by Nerchio, but he's still down 10 workers. And his Warp Prism is still very much so alive. These adepts will get 2 kills before getting picked up. He's not.
Woo, last second.
Look at this, still 2 more adepts.
And in the meantime, again, ShoWTimE going for Immortals out of his Robo. He's already got one. Let's see if he cues another one. Actually, that's still rallied across the map, so he's going to have to be careful. Thank God his Immortal was blocked in.
The Warp Prism takes a lot of damage, but won't die. I'd like to see some... He doesn't have overload speed, right? Thought Baneling drops would be sick. Nerchio did a decent job there. That could have been a lot worse, don't get me wrong, but it was still pretty painful. It's still 10 drones and 25 links for only 7 adepts. It's not like ShoWTimE made like 20 adepts there or something.
Man, WCS is playing a sick game against DNS. I just took a quick look at another one of the streams on the gaming.
How long?
Tempest. We are almost 21 minutes in.
These adepts will just shade into their death, not getting much done there at all. I think 1 drone was all that ShoWTimE got this time. What do you think? Maybe a Spire from Nerchio? I mean, he's not that rich right now. It's just going to be Ling, Ravager, Bane, I guess, with +2 since he's getting +2. Does he have Baneling speed yet? Nope, it has not been started. Without a 4th base, though, I'm a little bit worried for Nerchio, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, unless he wants to go for a timing and somehow hits right. But yeah, the 4th base is very delayed. Forge on the way now for ShoWTimE. And his saturation is quite scary. He's got more walkers than Nerchio. ShoWTimE looking pretty good here in that last game. So far.
Definitely did enough, and we all know that the moment he gets his Immortals out, the moment he gets his High Templars with Storm, ShoWTimE is going to be one tough Protoss to break. And Nerchio is going to have somehow everything go right for him. These Warp Prisms just do not die, by the way. I don't know how it's possible that the Warp Prisms of any other Protoss always seems to die, but ShoWTime's Prisms, they never die. 1 HP, 23 HP, just stays active. And I really think that makes the difference, because it just keeps the Zerg honest, always forces him to leave some units at home, forces him to worry about the Prism. This is very nice.
I wonder what Nerchio has planned behind this. Like seeing Pneumatized Carapace +2 melee in Infestation Pit kind of makes me think of Ultras, but against Protoss that's going Immortals. Like that's almost out of the question.
You know how many Immortals ShoWTimE likes to make as well.
Yeah.
10 on Cactus Valley. Swarmos?
No,
never mind.
Yeah, actually, I was going to mention Swarmos as a possibility.
Wouldn't be bad, I think, at all.
Unless it's just for Hive and then to go into Vipers, more upgrades and all that, because like, I mean, usually you would see a lot of Hydralisk Baning play, but nowadays we haven't seen that nearly as much.
It's very annoying for ShoWTimE. Once again, lose a lot of mining time. Makes 12 drones, perhaps anticipated to lose a few more there. What's it gonna be? He's getting Baneling speed. He already has +2 melee, and he has Overlord speed now as well. So maybe he's gonna just try to frontal attack and drop a whole bunch of Banelings on top of the Zerg army. Maybe he fungals and drops Banelings on top of the Zerg army. That would be a sick way to close out this series.
Neural Parasite once again. Nerchio just loves this. He doesn't even care about pathogen glands. He just wants Neural Parasite like all the time. I think Nerchio is trying to tell us something. He wants to be a Protoss player.
Well, he was once upon a time. Whoa, his army is
StarCraft remastered. He's definitely going to play Protoss.
Definitely going to play Zerg. What about you? You used to play Terran, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to play Terran again?
Yeah.
Tell the Terran, what a time to be alive. Todd, we're gonna have our first bailing drops.
I'm gonna make you fool.
Lovely. More. 3, 2, 1. We can see Dark Shrine as well. What's going on over here? ShoWTimE is moving out. Fighting on creep would be a little bit risky. He's getting a Stargate, he's getting a Dark Shrine as well. Alright, it's morphing into a drop alloy.
He's keeping the mothership core at home, so there's not the option of recalling.
Would be kind of weird to drop Banelings in the main now. No, the Baneling, the main mineral line is going to be a little bit exposed. Natural would be.
Oh, it's a little bit late to morph Banelings. I feel like he's just sent his overlords to buy time, by the way. Because he thought that the attack was going to be a bit too early. Infestors are ready if some huge fungals land. I mean, obviously there's the threat of feedback there.
What happened?
That prison, by the way, went all the way around the map. He did one big lap.
Ooh.
Bailing drop on the left-hand side. And Nerchio, he's got less army supply than ShoWTimE right now. He could be in big trouble. Let's see, ShoWTimE moving forward. Force fields are going to be scary.
Oh, good job. Catches the prison with the fungal grove there. And finishes it off. 30 more Banelings, 22 in total. Well, he already has 22, so he's going to go up to 44.
And behind this, we got 2 more Stargates, Fleet Beacon for ShoWTimE, who might just be backpedaling from that position where he was just going to attack.
Corrosive Ball used to kill a hallucinated Phoenix. I'd like to see a whole bunch of Drop-A-Lords, Todd, and just try to drop Banelings on top of the Protoss army.
Nah, I think Nerchio is just going to take to Great Aspire and take it slow. Boom,
well,
there it is.
Yeah, but I mean, you already have 3 Stargates soon.
Well, I mean, he doesn't know that.
Right, armies getting awfully close towards each other. There's a lot of Archons. A couple of Corrosive Balls, maybe can connect. Few Force Fields go down. The Immortal takes a little bit of damage. Big moment. Who's gonna make it to the upper bracket final and claim that guaranteed seed into WCS Austin? Of course, there is money on the line as well, but that direct seed is a lot more important. Actually, all 16 players that made it into Challenger got at least 400 bucks. So that's pretty nice, Todd. 5 Archons going forward. Corrosive Ball connecting. Fungo actually taking care of 2 Archons.
Oh, yeah, Nerchio's gonna move right in there. Uses a neural on one of these Archons. He was hesitating for a second, almost brought it back in his own army, but then he sets him free. Fly, you're free.
What's the bailing count at? 35 still.
Zealot's on the right-hand side here, sneaking into that mineral line. He's going to pull Nerchio's army out of position, and that's going to be ShoWTimE's cue, I think, to attack straight into this. Dodges the initial corrosive pile, and these Banelings, they're not going to do enough against these Archons. ShoWTimE with the 6 splits and fight set up here.
Yeah, they almost do nothing at all. And where is this army of Nerchio right now, Todd? A lot of it is in production. It's coming back now, a couple of Corruptors, but I really don't think there is an answer at all against all these Archons,
there are
all
storms
these
available.
Immortals. GG. ShoWTimE will advance to the upper bracket final and claim that direct seed to WCS Austin. Blizzard is going to pay for his trip, so Armor Team will say, thank you, ShoWTimE. Saving us some money there. Because, of course, he's guaranteed top 4 now, making it into the upper bracket final. Whew. Quite the